yourself.
Hi, I'm Dr. Buter at Hebron Animal Hospital. Today we're going to talk about blood work and lab work on pets.
Dr. Buter, why are laboratory tests so important for my dog's health?
Lab tests usually show internal function. So whether it be of the bloodstream, of the urine, of the different glands like the thyroid, the liver, it helps us get an internal look at what's going on since we can't see on the inside.
And what different types of lab work are there, and how are these tests completed?
So urinalysis is checking the urine. We either catch it in a little cup, or we use the ultrasounds to get a little what's called cystocentesis sample, where we take a tiny little needle and go through the belly wall into the bladder. Male dogs, sometimes you can put a urinary catheter into if you need to collect it that way. Urine tells you a lot about kidney function. It can also tell you about systemic disease like protein loss, as well as just UTIs, or in males prostatic disease, maybe looking for bladder stones or bladder tumors. Blood work, there's a lot of different blood work that can be run, but your kind of routine stuff is your CBC, which checks your white cells and your red cells and your platelets, and then your internal organ profile, which looks at kidney values, pancreatic values, liver values, your protein levels, your blood sugar, all the stuff that should be produced by the body and all the stuff that should be excreted by the body. Especially in cats, you've also got your thyroid hormone, or in dogs, low thyroid hormone. Let's see. Then there's also like specific tests for if your pets are sick, like Giardia tests, stool tests for diarrhea, or GI panels looking at your digestive enzymes.
And why are routine blood tests important for my dog like Zellick here?
Again, kind of giving us an internal picture, but really it's more for the older guys about trend development. So looking at a picture in time with blood work, seeing how that's changing as days and weeks and months and years go, so that we can pick up on things that may be changing or altering just slowly.
How does a baseline lab test benefit the health of my dog?
It gives us that, again, that picture in time, but it also gives us something to look back on. If in 2-3 years something happens, we can look back and say, hey, at this time, such and such was normal. So we know whatever disease process is occurring has started to occur within X amount of time from that initial baseline blood work.
We always say that senior dogs need blood work, but what about early detection? How important is that?
Early detection is important because anything you catch earlier, you can usually deal with and handle better and for longer. So we here at Hebron consider dogs seniors about 7 years of age. So that's usually when we start kind of recommending annual blood work or urinalysis, sometimes thyroid checks. Cats, 8 to 9 years of age. I would say as far as the younger animals, if there's anything breed specific that they tend to struggle with, like if you have puppies that have blood sugar issues, or for example, like pugs can get liver shunts. So if you have a really small pug that you're thinking about doing spay or neuter, then it may be worthwhile to check blood work just to be on the safe side before undergoing anesthesia. I think that's about it.
So you're saying for blood test, you have to obviously draw blood for him. How is that done, and is it painful for Mr. Zellick here?
So it's just a normal needle stick like a vaccine. Most dogs, it's the act of sitting still that is more uncomfortable for them than the actual poke itself. So we can show you on Zellick how we typically draw blood from dogs. You can do their hind limb back here, or you can do their jugular vein up here. Some clinics will do their front limb right there. We usually reserve the front limbs for if they have to have a catheter put in or something. So we typically do one of the other two. I know a lot of people get really anxious about jugular sticks because it looks dangerous by the neck, but it's actually the smoothest, easiest, fastest way to collect larger amounts of blood. So if you wanna grab that alcohol in the tubes, we can show you. What do you think? So, can you sit? Can you sit? Thank you. So alcohol usually kind of helps separate the hair a little bit.
Good job.
So for most dogs, it's this sitting still part that they don't really love, but his nose come down
Good
here.
job, handsome. You're gonna step. Good boy. Good boy, good boy.
It's not on.
So
No
you
wonder.
wanna sit?
So sorry, kiddo. He's a good boy. He's like, I'm a good boy. Oh.
So for Zelig, how is the safety of him ensured when getting lab work completed?
So we are a fear-free practice, so we don't push anything. If it's stressing a dog out to do something, we stop and we talk with their owners about how we can make it safer and more comfortable for them. But just good restraint so they can't flail and hurt themselves, you know, trying to twist away. But otherwise, like I said, if it's stressing the pet out, we don't do it.
And how soon will I receive Zelig's lab results?
We do have the option of doing some blood work in-house. That is typically reserved for pets that are really, really sick and we need to know right then what's going on. Otherwise, we typically like to send it to the lab. So in the future, whenever we recheck things, we have the same baseline to fall back on to be able to look at those trends. But those results usually come back within 12 to 24 hours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bueter and Zelig. And if you have any questions regarding the dog lab work process, please give us a call. We're here to help.
Thank you.